Mikel, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you all. Thank
As
you.
it's Christmas, we'll get the annoying question out of the way first.
Go on.
The European Super League, the club have now issued a statement distancing itself from any attempt to start the Super League again, but be interested to get your thoughts on it.
Well, very clear, exactly the same. We remain in the same position. We love playing in the Champions League, and we'll continue to do so.
The players, the PFA say that the players and the fans are against it. Is that the sense you get, that the players don't really want to be involved as well?
I think that's a question for them, but obviously supporters, football supporters, and the passion they bring to the game is the main reason why this game belongs to them and to the players, because they are the absolute protagonists and what makes this game so enjoyable. And we have to look after them, and their opinion is very, very important.
In terms of injuries, Thomas Partey, is there any big update on him?
He's still finalising his rehab. He still hasn't trained with the team yet. Elneny, hopefully he will train with us this afternoon, see how he feels about it. For the rest, no news.
Jorginho as well, is there in the doubt?
It's still a doubt, yes.
Racing?
He's racing.
Anfield, Friday night football, always a special game, but particularly under the floodlights.
It's going to be a special atmosphere. Obviously, the two teams are in a great moment, in a really good position, really strong position. Both teams, I'm sure, have prepared the game to win it and to go for it, and it's going to be an intense match.
Being top at Christmas obviously doesn't win you anything, and you were top at Christmas last Christmas and obviously didn't manage to win the title. But is it still nice to help you celebrate and enjoy Christmas to be top of the table?
It's always great to be in the highest position in the league, especially in this league, and we'll try to maintain that. And to do that tomorrow, we're going to have to play really well, compete extraordinarily well, and be very intelligent to manage the moments of the game as well.
Have you seen Jurgen Klopp's rallying call to the fans?
Yeah.
Has he done that because he's really worried about Arsenal? Is it a compliment to Arsenal in a way?
I don't know. That's a question for him. The way we're going to prepare the game is what we have to do to play better than them, to beat them, and to focus on our supporters as well. That I'm sure that a lot of them are going to travel tomorrow there, and they're going to be like always supporting the team.
But it's quite unusual to think of Anfield not being an amazingly noisy stadium with massively partisan home support. Are you surprised he made that statement?
I don't know. I have enough thinking about the team and how we're going to prepare the game to win it.
Just finally from me, we weren't here, but you celebrated 4 years in the job exactly this week. When you took the job, if we'd have said to you in 4 years' time you'd be in the final stages of the Champions League and top of the table, would you have taken that?
I'm sure I would, but we haven't still win enough important things, and we want to be better and we want to be more successful. There's a lot of things that we have achieved together in those 4 years, but that's thanks for the people that they've been in this journey with us together, and the ones that they were behind us as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Becky?
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
I just wondered, when you played, what were your memories of Anfield, or what's your favourite memory of Anfield?
Winning there as always. Last time when we beat them, that has been a while ago. That was a really good moment, and something to replicate tomorrow.
The fact you played so well against Brighton and that Man United actually went there and got a point at Anfield, so sort of, do you take those aspects as well and use them going into Anfield, which has been a tough place for teams to go this season?
I don't know. Every game is different. They have a really particular way of playing, like Brighton had, like Villa had, and every game is prepared in a different way. The concepts were different. The atmosphere is something that it's important to understand as well. But we have now the experience of what we did last year there as well for big parts of the game, and that's a lot of things that we have to replicate, and some others that we have to do better to win tomorrow.
And then if I was to ask you, which do you prefer, playing or managing at Anfield?
I don't know, to be fair. I would say that there's nothing like playing, but as well there is something about managing that you feel that cohesion between the team, that chemistry between players, and a team producing what it was in your brain. I don't know if it gets much better than that.
Well, so Mikel, thank you.
Thank you.
you, George.
Mikel, hello. Just on Anfield, you played really well for 28 minutes last season.
28.
Well,
Mamma mia! Now we're going to the real
I
stats.
was looking back, but
I thought it was 27.
Granit Xhaka then riled up the crowd, and he made that tackle and engaged with the crowd. Will you speak to your players about doing that tomorrow, and they'll have to calm their emotions, maybe because Jurgen Klopp's really fired up the Liverpool crowd. So is it a game that you and the squad have got to manage in a different way that you haven't done before?
All the games, but Granit Xhaka did that in many games, and we won, and then nobody talks about that, you know. So it's a little bit sometimes too simplistic. There are certain things, obviously, that we have to manage very well in big games, and the emotional state is something that is crucial when you play it against big opponents away.
So what do you think, because I know we joke about 28 minutes, but you were really good. So what have the players learned from that? Because this sort of wobble started after that result, didn't it, in terms of where your title challenge went? So
Yeah, there are certain things that we didn't manage very well. And the way we allowed them to run, especially after a few things that we didn't do well enough, that we have to correct and be much better at, because when they get that momentum and the space, they are a really dangerous team. But as well, we had some big situations, even after those moments that we could have killed the game, and we didn't. And when you have the opportunity to do that, you have to do that.
you're 4 years into this plan. How happy are you with where you want Arsenal to be? I mean, you've come a long way since where you started, but in terms of where this team's at, how pleased are you with what you've done in 4 years?
Yes, it's something to reflect on, but now we are in the competition. I think you live the present in a really intense way, and you're just looking for ways to be better, you know, and to improve and to evolve the club, the team, yourself individually as well as a manager, how you can be better for this group, what the team demands. But overall, I'm really pleased with what is happening around the club, with the people that we work with, and how people feels, and our people especially feels about what we are doing.
Just one on the Super League. It can't really succeed, can it, without England's biggest clubs? If Arsenal's saying they're not going to be in it, does it have a future?
I don't know. Everybody will have his own opinion and commitment now, in a year's time, in 3 years' time. So who knows how this is going to end up.
Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Happy Christmas.
Thank you.
In terms of this fixture, is it a better time to be playing it now than it was last season, but it came a little bit later in the calendar?
Something that we cannot pick. It's around the Christmas period. Is under the footlights. It's going to be a special night, and it's always great to go to Anfield. So looking forward to it.
I mean, your players have played in big atmospheres all around the world for club and country. Is it still something you have to talk to them about, though, keeping their heads in a game like this? They know. We have experienced that for many years now. For this group of players now, is the third, fourth time that they've been there. A few years ago, it was the first time for most of them. And maybe you have to clarify and explain certain things. I don't think that's necessary now. Manchester United went with the game plan last week, which was, I think, perceived by most people as being quite pragmatic, quite negative. Will you attack Liverpool tomorrow, or will you go with a game plan?
Sorry, can you
Will
repeat?
you attack Liverpool tomorrow? Or
No,
will
the
you
first part of the question. The first part of the question.
Manchester United
Sorry.
were, I think their
Okay.
game plan last week was a bit boring, I think. But will you go with a more attacking game plan tomorrow, basically?
Well, we will have the game planned to beat them and to leave Anfield with 3 points. That's how we're going to prepare the game, for sure.
And in terms of last season, you were 2-0 up there. Was that, when they came back into the game and drew, did you know that the writing was on the wall in terms of the title and your ambitions for last season from that point, or was it later on in the run?
No, it was that run of games that after when we have a few draws in a row as well, but that was part of it. You know, we had moments that we could have killed the game to get away with the 3 points, and we didn't. And then in certain moments, especially in the second half, we suffer in many moments to maintain that draw.
And finally, in your 4 years here so far, you've changed so much about the club. You've brought in the phrase "believe in the process" and everything. Would you consider so far what you've done a success?
I think I'm really happy where we are and how we have achieved things, you know, and how we have behaved through difficult moments, through good moments, and the involvement of everybody at the football club and how they feel that they have participated building what we are doing. And I don't know, it's a joy to be here with these people, and I'm willing to be better because we are for sure not satisfied.
Mikel, a couple of years ago when the plans for the Super League first came out, you spoke about how this was a big moment for fan power to show that the game belonged to the fans. Have you spoken to the board and the powers that be to have assurances that they won't ever engage in those conversations again?
Well, the conversation that we had were very clear after the experience that we had, as you said, 2 years ago, and I think the club has issued a statement that is very clear and transparent, and we stick to that.
Because you've also been in English football for a long time now, so obviously the two big Spanish clubs that were driving it. What is English football, with the depth of the league, you see Aston Villa, teams like that, Leicester in recent years, is there anything that can compete with English football? Is that what you treasure about it?
I don't know. I think we are so privileged to have the league that we have, to have the competition that we have, to have the uncertainty that we have every single game of what's going to happen, and that what it drives, I think, this league and a lot of football supporters to watch it every time, because it's beautiful.
And just one finally on, just talk about discipline. We'll talk about Liverpool, how hard a place it is to go. Look at the stats this season. I think we've conceded the second fewest fouls in the league, least amount of yellow cards. Is there something that, would you say over the last couple of years, you go back, there's a couple of seasons ago, there was a lot of red cards over a few weeks. Is there something about your management that's changed, that's maybe reflected in the temperament of the team now?
Well, yeah, it's true. There is a period where you try to coach the team in the best possible way to be efficient. We don't want to foul. We want to regain the ball as high as possible. We want to nullify the opponent's strength as much as we possibly can, and we want to be dominant. That's for sure. But at certain things, there are qualities of players that allows you to do certain things better than with others. And as well, I think experience is something that is very important as well, you know, and understanding what you have to do in each area of the pitch, in each moment of the game. And that's something that, in my opinion, we have improved.
Just on Gabriel and Saliba, how key are they to that? Because you've seen last week at Brighton, were just so dominant. How much has the relationship, the partnership improved since the start of last season?
I think they clicked straight away, and that's something that, as a coach, you really hope for, because when you talk about partnerships, then those two positions are key, and there is that chemistry, there is that understanding. They complement each other in a great way. Everybody has his role, and it's very clear, and it's very well accepted, and they are getting better and better. Still super young for the position that they play in, and they can still get better.
Hi, Mikel. I think it's fair to say in the 4 years you've had here, you've ended some runs. For example, Arsenal finally beat Man City a few months ago. But one of those runs is you've not won at Anfield since you were in the team, in fact. Is this another one of those monkeys that the club just need to get off their back and get a result there? And why do you think it has been so difficult in those years?
Yeah, we have done it in Old Trafford. We have done it at Stamford Bridge. In many other places that for many years we haven't. And that's the next challenge. Go there and win. And if you want to be at the top, you're going to have to those places and be dominant and win the games. And that's what we're going to try to do.
You went there as a player with Everton, and since you've come here, you obviously in the documentary you played the music, and last year you said here that it's a bit of a jungle atmosphere at Anfield. Do you think that silencing the crowd is key to getting a result there?
I think you have to play better than them, and you will silence the crowd if you are dominant and you are better than them. Like in any other ground, there is no difference there, I think.
You speak there about being dominant, and last week against Brighton was one of your most dominant performances perhaps in your time in charge. At Liverpool, it's going to be difficult to maintain that level of control over the game for the full 90 minutes. Will you tell your players almost that they have to accept there's going to be periods where they can't control the game?
Yeah, you're going to have to suffer, and every game you have to suffer, and how you go through those moments together. How do you do it? How you overcome those moments, and that's a big thing. And last year we went through those moments, especially in the second half, and we have some difficulties to get over them, you know. And they extended for a period that it was too long, and you have to be able to turn those moments around and come back to the state of the game that you want.
And what does it take to turn those moments around? Like you say, is it calmer heads? It's obviously difficult. It's easier to say it than do it on the pitch, but is that what it takes?
Yeah, you try to teach them. There are certain things that you can do, but especially have the ball as far as possible from your goal, and be dominant in the areas that you want to be dominant, and that's it. And sometimes it's credit to the opponent that they manage to do that to you, and you're struggling to get out of that position.
Mikel,
Mikel, just one on the Super League. Just given your history with Barcelona, and they're obviously one of the teams that's driving this, would you just be sad as an ex-Barcelona player to see them effectively leave mainstream football and go and play in a new competition?
That's not for me to judge. Everybody's got the right reasons, and I'm sure a lot of thoughts why they defend their position, their club's position in the best possible way, and I can talk about what I think is best for Arsenal and the decision that we have made as a club.
Last one in live section.
Mikel, we talk a lot with you about sort of player welfare and the workload on players. Is one thing that can come out of things like the Super League that people actually talk about the issue of the current game, what's going on, and maybe things can be addressed that are perhaps forgotten about until something like this appears from the side?
I don't know, whatever the decision is of any club or us in football and everybody that we are involved in is two things. One is the soul of this game, which is our supporters, because that's what they make this game possible, and then the players. And look after those two in the best possible way. I think that's our responsibility, our duty, and everything. Every decision has to be focused on those two aspects, especially, and then to have a game that promotes the integrity and the beauty of the game, and try to find that.